mean, it's gonna be PRs for the Adwin League. It's a points draft, so you get 110 points. So some of these teams will have some of the lower pointed Pokemon on them to balance out. You got to get at least 10 Pokemon, 10 to 11 numbers. You can have up to 3 Terras. It's anything in 12 points and below with some Terra bands can be Terra'd. To broadly go over the rules.
All right.
That's basically all you really need for an intro, so.
Sounds great. So we had Jarvis's team on the screen, I think. Yep. All right. Sounds good. All right. So the first thing to me, they have Iron Valiant.
That guy's a pretty good draft Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really, really good Pokemon. Kind of carries this team a lot, I think.
I like Sandy Shock's Hydreigon for offense too. Trying to think if they like cover much. The one thing, like Iron Valiant's not defensive. Like, it can't take hits or anything, so they don't have a real fairy, which is something, at least.
Yeah, you got a decent defensive backbone with Vaporeon and Weezing are okay. It's a little, like, physically defensive. Metagross as well is in there. So they may, like, have issues with special threats, especially with Iron Valiant being so especially weak. That's, like, one of the issues they may run into, but it's got a lot of pivoting in this team, which is very nice.
Yeah.
The hazard removal, as you'll see there, is probably one of the issues they will run into, because their only clear is the Chinchino.
To be a little bit more, they have like a lot of ground immunity, so they're at least they don't get hit by spikes or T-spikes.
Yeah.
Like a lot of these are people are going to bring pretty often. So.
And it's a pretty like decent set of resists for rock as well, because Iron Valiant, Metagross both resist rock, Sandy Shocks as well, so you're not like as worried about like rocks as probably most teams are when they don't have the best hazard clear, but it is pretty.
Rotom like especially doesn't want rocks. I mean, you'd run boots pretty often, but it can get knocked off.
Yeah, it's kind of always running boots there. They have 7 different key waivers, I noted. Just kind of insane. Might help with the speed tiering a bit, because I think that like maybe another issue they have is the top speed is just Iron Valiant.
No top speed. But I mean, Booster Energy Valiant, you can pretty fast.
I mean, but... Leaves can Scarf, Sandy Shocks can Scarf, Hydreigon can Scarf, Rotom can Scarf.
Yeah, a lot of viable Scarfers.
Yeah.
Top end speed still a little bit low.
Yeah, there is quite a lot of speed in this, like in this draft as well. So I think they may run into some issues with those like higher-ended ones.
Fair enough.
Decent priority options as well. Metagross, the like E thing there with Bullet Punch, and the Shadow Sneak Vacuum Wave for Valiant.
Yep, pretty good.
Not to be ignored.
A little bit. Yeah. No, not much longevity. You only got Wish.
Yeah.
But I mean, this team's pretty offensive. Hydreigon lost Roost. I didn't know that. Yeah. That's pretty big.
Yeah, again, Rocks lost Roost. So
bad trade, I think, but
yeah, not the greatest. They've got a couple of Pain Splitters which don't show on that tab, like Rotom and Weezing, but yeah, could be better. It's a good team. I think it's just very heavily carried by
Valiant. I mean, that's gonna be any team that has Valiant, pretty much. I think, but yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you want to go to the next one?
Yeah.
Overall, great team, I think. Or I'm gonna guess for me this will probably be in the top half at minimum, but we'll see as we continue.
Yeah.
Okay, we got this one with Urshifu and Iron Boulder as their top 2.
Yeah, this is it's such a weird team for me. It's so fast, like
it's
kind of ridiculously fast.
Yeah,
just has like no bulk, which I don't like myself, but yeah, it is very, very fast. And like all the fast stuff, basically all the fast stuff has like good momentum options as well.
Yeah, aside from Boulder, mostly.
Yeah. Yeah, like all those like U-turners, very nice. They have a ton of priority as well. Which is very, very good.
As much as it's viable though, we got
Yeah, I mean
Shifu.
like Aquajet's really good. You got Fake Out, which is like usable for the main.
Yeah. But yeah,
The deck
definitely
is
a
fine.
really. I mean, our Shifu can tank a hit or two, but I mean, most of the stuff really cannot tank any hits. Overquill could probably tank a hit or two.
Yeah, it's a lot of like just fast spam. I have a feeling.
Thunderous has a lot of defensive utility, even though it doesn't really want to tank any hits, but it's got 2 immunities, so it's.
Yeah,
and it's got immunities to like stuff that is gonna hit our Shifu or Iron Boulder. I think Thunderous fits really good here.
Yeah, I think our battles are gonna be like
10 turns
long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it can work, but
it can work. Yeah.
You gotta. I think the Thunderous is gonna have to carry a lot. Need a lot of predictions.
Yeah, very prediction-based game. They might struggle with like good defensive cores if they can't break through with their fast stuff. And also, like, even though it is a fast team, it only tops out at 124. There is quite a lot of things at 125 plus that.
Yeah, Dragapult has a crazy matchup.
Yeah.
Versus team, but not everyone
like
has.
Chen-Pao in the game that. Yeah, it's.
Chen-Pao too. I mean, Urshifu, but.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, there's no Stealth Rocker on this team.
Oh yeah, I did see that too.
Yeah. Usually, like, obviously at least one. They like have spikes, and the hazard removal is fine. It's not.
Great, I think Noivern's good. I think Noivern's pretty reliable.
Yeah. I think they're going to be forced to take boots a lot as well, because they've got quite a lot of rock weaknesses across with all the birds on this roster. But it's very hard and loose. Like, I don't know how to say other than that. It's just going to be like 10-turn long battles that hopefully they can get the.
I think they should definitely pick up some kind of rocker. You definitely, I don't know.
If there was some good ground types available, I would look into that, because I think this team could use that.
How are we doing on fairies? Every team wants a fairy. I don't think we have a fairy here. I think fairy.
Yeah, no fairy. There's like an Excadrill here, which might be usable for this team.
It's so hard to like change your team for like someone so expensive though.
It's true. It's true. Yeah. The Namorous T, which might
average is above 100. That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I haven't really paid attention to Terra types at all.
Yeah, so the Terra types for Verso, Inteleon is water and ice, which I think it was discussed in the chat, but I don't think the ice is giving you much there.
I agree.
Bravery is Psychic and Fairy, which seems fine, and then Banette is open. So
for the last team, I mean, Sandy Shocks with ice is obviously. Nothing really stops it anymore, but it's not that fast. Booster Energy can do some work though.
Yeah.
And then Cincino, normal Rock Grass. I don't know what Cincino would normally run, so.
I did use those for its multi-hit moves, so.
And I don't know, just Chargebug's base stats, I assume, are really bad. I don't know what they are.
It's pretty low. It can throw webs up and probably live, so that's basically all it's doing. But I think it's just there for points overflow.
Okay, so yeah, and just wanted to go over those real quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, this team, I don't know, want a rocker probably, definitely want it for like these fast guys so they can get their kills, especially like Bandit or Shifu. Like, you just want a little bit of chip and it can kill like a ton of stuff.
Kill so much. No, it's a good team. It just may struggle with things faster than it, I think.
Yeah, and again, a lot of predictions, especially around Thunderous, I think will have to be done.
Yeah.
Alright, on to JT. Okay.
Yeah.
This is a team I really like this team. And you were saying you didn't necessarily think it was very threatening, at least.
Yeah, so I think it's a really well balanced team. Like, you know, there's no really like major weaknesses you can see on this team, but I just like I worry about the actual like game-winning threats compared to a lot of other rosters.
I think
is more
Terra.
a concern.
Okay, I agree with you to some extent, but I think Terra Flygon does it pretty well. He can clean games pretty good, and with like very reliable hazards between Screamtail, Iron Treads.
Yeah,
Probably don't want rocks on Flygon very often.
This like has like one of the best hazards like teams in like
reliable
in
removal
this league
too.
for sure. Like such good removal because both him on top of Iron Treads really good removal. And like yeah, multiple spikes, multiple rocks, multiple T spikes. Like
yeah, I think this team's game plan is simple, but I think they're like you're getting hazards up, and you're cleaning with like Meowscarada or Jolteon or Flygon, depending on the matchup.
Yeah, and they've got like a lot of pivot options as well. Screamtail I think is really nice for this team. I'm a big fan of the Screamtail here. It's got some really big wishes. It's got Batman Pass. Like it can send those wishes to the stuff it wants to keep alive. Like Ogerpon I think is going to be quite important.
It is a little bit weird that your two most offensive and by far most threatening offensive, at least initially, are grass types, but Meowscarada's not a real grass type.
Yeah, I think it needs like a bigger special threat on this team. Jolteon is to an extent. It can get shut down.
Moltres is too. I think.
Yeah, I would have liked a Terra on Moltres personally, but it is hard to fit
Flygon, I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to fit another Terra, but I think it benefits a lot from it. I don't think it's a bad team. I think it's just very well balanced. And I think this format has a lot of really threatening stuff, and I don't think this team has.
It definitely doesn't. Like, I mean, it doesn't have a Chiyu, which I have, or like a Spectrier.
Spectrier, yeah.
Like it doesn't.
It doesn't have like a Chanpao, like Palafin, I think as well. Like
I think Meowscarada. I think you're underrating Meowscarada a little bit. I think this thing is
maybe, yeah,
pretty.
It's good, but I just don't think it's my like.
It's not gonna break anything in one hit. Well, you can band it, and it will break a lot of things in one hit. But I don't know.
Yeah. So the Terras for Jolteon, Electric, Flying, and Ice makes sense. The Flygon one was Poison, is the other one, as well as Ground.
That's pretty weird.
Yeah, I don't.
Poison.
I don't think this team has like a big fairy issue because I think Iron Prides deals with most fairies pretty well.
And Ogerpon can deal with some, and Moltres especially can deal with a bunch of areas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about the poison. I don't know what else he would use. What does Flygon use? I would really like Dragon, to be honest, instead of Ground, but
yeah,
they're both probably fine.
Yeah. No, it's a fine team. It's just very, very well balanced.
I'm just trying to figure out poison. What else would it run? Ice?
Ice does give it like Mammoth Line coverage, which is nice.
Yeah.
Might be a good offensive thing.
But yeah, Jolteon, Electric Ice makes sense, obviously. Jolteon can clean a bunch of games, I think.
It can. It's a very like good value pick here. It's only 6 points, which I think is really good for getting the Terra. Yeah, true. You could go normal for Boom Burst, which Flygon gets, so it's an option.
I'm a big fan of this team. It's definitely my top half for sure.
Yeah, I think it's good.
We go Nolan with the Chanpao. Should be banned.
This is my favorite team for sure. Like these front four Pokemon are just insane together. I think they're drafted so well together. Like every weakness is covered, and it's just they just work so well.
Nolan agrees. I think Goldingo ties these together really well, especially.
Yeah.
I will say, since you were so positive, I think Gliscor has to do so much on this team for pivoting. It might get overwhelmed. Like, one of the weaknesses, at least.
Yeah. It's possible.
And also, this isn't a real Pokemon. The Dene. Not real. These two are not real. And so he has no... His only dragon answer is Goldingo, which, I mean, it's pretty bulky,
pretty
but...
good dragon answer, yeah. And Empoleon helps as well.
Oh, true. He does have 2 stars.
I just, like, those first kind of, like, 9 Pokemon are all very usable. I think, like, it's like ignoring the first 5 because they're probably coming to most matchups, but like Arboliva can definitely come to matchups. Hitmonlee is
I'm an Arboliva fan. I think all of these guys are definitely viable to bring.
Yeah.
Though I do think you're always bringing these 5 pretty much.
Basically, yeah.
I think a lot of teams might fall into that though, to be fair, but
it definitely happens with points with yeah, but it's just a really intimidating team to face, I think.
For sure. I mean, this guy should be banned. Shinpao should be. He should not be allowed.
Yeah. There's a gap between the Chien-Pao and Laddie. That
speed gap
may be an issue. Yeah. Maybe like a little bit of an issue if there's like a good Scarfer that can fit into that to take this team apart. It does have good priority options though. It's got like a whole bunch of hazard options as well. The hazard game is like maybe the best, I think, because Goldingo is just ridiculous.
I mean, yeah, Glimmera and Goldingo.
It's
the other thing I had noted on this team is Moldbreaker Earthquake just kills the whole team pretty much. But yeah, that's not very often.
Yeah. It has the like suffers from like loses to Mamoswine.
I mean, yeah, but a lot of teams do.
Yeah, that's just
Kyurem, yeah, like Mamoswine, they don't count.
Yeah.
Plus, it's probably not even picked because it's never picked.
It's a really good team. It may suffer with like fast Scarfers, but yeah, very very good team.
Yeah, I think the removal's kind of whatever. Like, Glimmora is easier to block than most things because every team has a steal. Yeah. Not every team has a...
Yeah, Hitmonlee is usable.
Yeah, but you probably don't want to rapid spin on it very often.
Usually doesn't want to be spinning. Yeah, that's true. It is fine. And the priority options are also really good on this team. You got Fake Out, you got Aquajet, you got Ice Shard. Like...
Yeah, I mean, it's a good team. It's got Chien-Pao, so...
Yeah.
Chien-Pao, Laddie, I mean, it's very threatening. I think Gliscor could get overwhelmed.
It could. I think it's my favorite team for sure.
That's fair. Alright, we go next. Alright, Ursaluna's my favorite Pokemon. I think. It's up there. I really like that guy. But I see a big problem over here on the speed.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very, very slow.
Dodrio's kind of a fake Pokemon. So, like, we cap it like 108. I mean, Dodrio's real-ish. It does a lot of damage. It dies to any move.
Yeah, just no bulk. But the team has so much bulk on the roster.
That's true.
It's really, really good, like, bulky / like, semi-stall type team. It can Trick Room, and I think it, like, may find itself wanting to run Trick Room a lot because of how slow it is.
Trick Room Ursaluna is pretty...
Yeah, Trick Room Ursaluna. You've got Slowbro and Hatterini to set it, which are, like, 2 very good Trick Room setters. You've also got, like, I think Malamar can... I wouldn't be surprised if Sinistra can. Ursaluna is just very hard to deal with for a lot of teams. Like, it can easily 1 for 2, probably, most matchups.
Yeah, Ursaluna super good. I mean, some things just check it, but he's got like the best checked Ursaluna on his team in Sinistra. So
yeah,
pretty much nothing else takes two.
Corviknight also on the team
as
well.
Oh yeah, true. So, like,
yeah. No, it's good. I just think Infernape is probably doing a lot because of it. Is the only real fast thing, and it's not like you know, upper echelon of speed. Like 108 is not like
No, that's
that fast these days. So
pretty average for like an
yeah,
offensive threat.
yeah.
I agree.
Sinistra is kind of is like a setup threat with Shell Smash. So
Shell Smash. What?
or whatever the move
It's like
is.
Calm Mind and Strength Sap and
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely
Setup
a
it
guy.
is.
Claude and Infernate. Both are the only setters, both weak to ground, could be a problem. You definitely need hazards on this team, or you're not going to do the damage. I mean, Ursaluna does a ton, but it's getting hit first, usually. It can't. Does he have Wish? Not really.
It's got Healing Wish.
Does have Healing Wish, that's...
Yeah, Palmot's fake
yeah,
wish
that's
really.
not real. Yeah.
Yeah, Healing Wish, and you've got like Roost and Recover on Claude and Corvi.
How does he get in the Ursa? Because Ursa...
Yeah, there are ways to get it in. It's mostly Baton Pass. If this was a Slow King, it would be really,
Dude,
really
slow,
scary,
bro,
but...
it's so overpriced.
yeah.
It doesn't have teleport.
It's difficult.
Yeah, Corviknight gets an Ursa and gets a kill. Mostly, it's probably the main way.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, priority options, but nothing special. It's mostly Infernape.
Yeah.
Ah.
And then Corv's the only remover, but I mean Corv's very, very reliable
Corv's
at
like,
that.
yeah, it's
he's coming every time.
Probably. Yeah.
I think his team is pretty, as far as it goes, his team's like super flexible. Like he can bring any of these guys. Like he can cut any of these guys too, which I don't think most, like Ursaluna has some matchups where you don't want to bring it. I mean, he probably will just because it's the only one that does like a crazy amount of damage.
Yeah.
But
yeah, with the Terra Captains, I think the Terra Captains are fine personally.
I think Rever Room wants to be a Terra Captain.
Yeah, though that's a good point.
I think you switch Dojiri on Rever Room. If you can, I don't know. You cut Malamar, maybe.
I think you can. Yeah, because they have 5
Oh yeah, they
over.
can. They could just switch.
Yeah, so if they just get rid of Malamar for it,
I think he was talking about switching Sinistra though, but I think he should keep Sinistra as a Terra.
I would agree. Sinistra's very like threatening.
Yeah, that guy can just win games. I've seen him do it once.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's some flaws here, mostly the speed. But I mean, Ursaluna can win games.
I think they mainly just run into like obviously issues with speed outside of Trick Room, and against like bulky breakers.
Yeah,
like, that defensive. yeah, I know that can work. But just like anything that can sit in versus like the bottom half and is just like like stuff like Iron Hands can.
Oh, I mean, Iron Hands fucking destroys this team.
Yeah, just stuff like that and that mold. It's difficult for this team to deal with. And I think they'll run into people just like throwing on like a band or a specs on like certain options, and it can hurt.
For sure. All right, we go Leon.
Yep.
Okay, Lando, Arcloud. This is one of the teams I haven't looked at really yet.
Arcalodon, I think, fits here so well. I think this is a really good team for Arcalodon. I think this is about as good as you can do outside of having a full rain team.
Yeah.
But I think it's a really good Pokemon here. The double water feels like a little weird, but I think they're both really like good.
Yeah, I think they're different. Like they do different things. So
yeah,
I think it's chill.
And they're both like bringable to matchups, which is good. They both have pivoting as well, which helps. Makes a flip turn.
Dude, he has like some crazy, like he has 10 on this thing. 10.
Yeah.
The bugs. The bugs can't do anything.
Yeah. The bulk across this team as well is just very high at like a baseline. Like everything outside of like Rabombian or Choreo is gonna be like fairly bulky, which is It's nice to have.
Smeargle.
I'm not counting
Brambleghast.
Smeargle as a Pokemon. Brambleghast can be okay. Smeargle is just like a question mark, so...
He does sticky webs. That's what he does.
Yeah, that's the thing. So you have, like, Ribombee, who is the best web
Oh,
setter in the
true.
game, and then have I don't know why the Smeargle
How
is
much
here,
does Smeargle
but
cost? Is he really cheap?
it's pretty low pointed, so it's not like a bad thing. It's like
4.
3. Oh my god, 4. Yeah, it's 4. It's just like it's not a big deal. It's just like maybe that could be something else, but
Yeah.
The issue with this
Chandelier,
team is, like,
Terra
outside
Ghost, Scarf,
Uh,
kills everything
yeah.
in the world, pretty much. That doesn't really exist.
Like outside of webs, this team has a speed issue.
True.
When webs are up, and I think it really wants webs up like all the time.
Does he have Nox? Oh, I don't know. This team's gonna struggle, I think.
Yeah, Muck is the only knocker, and then you've got like a couple of tricks, so it can run into just boots.
I mean, they're bulky. A lot of them tank a hit, even if they don't have webs.
Yeah, like it's just really good bulk. I think when webs are up, it's a very, very threatening team. Outside webs, maybe not as much. I think our Caledon is going to be very hard to kill in like every matchup. It would be nice if it had a Wisher. I think it may have like a healing wish on this.
No,
But
doesn't get nothing.
yeah, I think that would be the only thing that our Caledon would have appreciated here. But also the hazard clear could probably be improved. Like I think it's
Brambleghast is your only real
yeah.
one. I don't like
Brambleghast, Oricorio, and Smeargle technically. So
Hey, it's not even listed.
Yeah.
Do they not list him because he just had that removed?
yeah, it has every move in the game, so there's no point. Yeah.
Yeah, Smeargle's not removing nothing.
Yeah.
Good rockers. Lando and Arcaladon, especially.
Really good rockers.
Very,
yeah.
very reliable. No, I don't think any shared weaknesses, so you could bring them whichever one you want.
Yeah.
And they have a little bit of spike action on the Bramble, but, you know.
It can. Yeah.
I think if he had more Nox, I would really like this team. But, I mean, Boots, a lot of people just want to run Boots anyway.
Yeah. They also have like 3 spin blockers, which is kind of nice because Oricorio can be ghost flying as well.
What are the Terras? Oh yeah, Chandelier I remember, but what else do we got? Grass for Chandelier. Why? Kill waters. I feel like you just Terra Ghost on the waters.
Yeah, it can resist ground, and I guess like because Brambleghast is the other
I guess
grass type, it might be useful. Electric and ground for Oricorio makes sense.
Yeah.
Bastiodon open, yeah. They may just be relying on setup to close out games as well. I think they may like have to rely on setup. You have some like okay setup options, like Lando can do its double dancing.
Keldeo, Calm Mind.
Calm Mind. Yeah.
I don't think they have to though.
Ribombee and Oricorio are both quiver dancers, so.
Alright. I mean Ribombee. I mean Oricorio is kind of real. I don't believe in Ribombee without Terra. I don't believe in it.
Yeah, without Terra it's not as great, but it can.
I think this team doesn't have to set up though. I think with Scarfs on Lando, you can clean games pretty good. Chandelier too.
I think I may just need it to like close out some games, but
I mean, you might, but I don't know. I think this team's alright. I wish I had more Nox.
Yeah, more Nox would be good to suit the boots.
Lando really doesn't have a knock anymore. That's some shit. I hear that mon sucks. Alright, I think it's okay though. We go CJ now.
Yeah.
Roaring Moon. Threatening guy. Manaphy. Threatening guy.
I was looking at the team for ages and I really don't know what to make of it. Like, I feel like it could be really, really strong, but I don't know. I also feel like Talonflame's doing so much on this team.
I agree with that. Talonflame is doing so much on this team. I think Talonflame's coming all the time.
Yeah. That was my biggest, like, concern, because I don't really like Talonflame too much, but...
I like Talonflame, but I don't want to bring it every time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just such a weird team for me. It's got like a fairly fast defensive core. Manaphy can be a defensive Pokemon. Pekka-Run is really defensive physically. Cobalion is like bulky enough. It doesn't really do much damage, but it can be bulky. Cobalion was just a weird one for me here because there's a good steel type already, and they also have like really good ways of dealing with.
Well, you picked Cobalion like
already.
really early. I remember noting that like Cobalion must have been before King Gambit.
Yeah, King Gambit was quite a late pick, so I'm just not sure on the Cobalion. I think that may be something to switch out for maybe a more threatening fighting type. Roaring Moon is a big threat. You know, they've got some good like game ending setup, like Roaring Moon, Manaphy.
I think Roaring Moon without Terra is like not even that. I think you want to band it or scarf it usually.
Yeah, it can be an option. Yeah,
oh, yeah, for sure.
Banning is really good.
But yeah, I mean, Cabalion's got like Iron Press, Iron Press, I guess what you just call it.
Yeah, Body Press, yeah, Iron Defense, yeah.
Manaphy is always a threat, could do a ton of things, can just pivot for your guys or.
Yeah,
really scary guy.
Manaphy's really good.
Yeah, but Talonflame's gotta do a lot. Gotta be your ground immunity pretty often. Gotta be your removal pretty often. Gotta tank fighting types pretty often.
Yeah, and I think they may have an issue with electric types because they've got like Rhyperior and then Quilladin and Lilligant as the like main resists.
Yeah, Rhyperior probably has to come pretty often. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I think they're gonna end up bringing their lower tier stuff quite a lot, which may get exploited.
Yeah, I can see Pekka-Run especially being benched like very often.
I just don't know what to make of Pekka-Run.
Yeah, I don't either.
Seems like it could be really good, but
I mean, it's a spin blocker, right? They have.
Yeah.
I mean, Quilladin's not a real spiker. They only have rocks, really.
Yeah, it's just rocks mostly, and like their clear is Talonflame, so. Cryogonal, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
An option.
If you need to keep your rocks up, you gotta go Cryogonal.
It's not a bad option if it is. Is it Terra Cryogonal?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Terra, Ice, Electric, Poison. But pretty offensive with the Electric. I would have liked Water or something, maybe. Fairy.
I think it makes sense because Poison is like defensive enough for it.
Yeah.
It is a little weird having Pekka-Run because you're like people are already gonna be prepping for poison types, but yeah, it can do enough of a job. It's good, specially defensive. I really just don't know what to make of this team, to be honest.
I agree. I think Roaring Moon has to do a lot of the damage, which he can do. King Gambit can clean games.
Yeah.
Very weak generally. Which Talonflame also, I mean Pekka-Run too, but Talonflame helps with that. Pekka-Run, I mean a lot of fairies are special, so he doesn't think them great.
And they do tend to have like psychic coverage.
Granted, Adamarus is not picked, and he's the most threatening fairy.
Yeah.
Well, he could get picked up. Who's the second most threatening fairy? I don't know. I think it's a big gap though.
It's like a Zoomeril or something.
Yeah, that's a water type, but it's not a fairy.
Still a fairy.
I think it's okay though. Okay, team. Manaphy scares me.
Yeah, it's got good game-ending threats, I think, and that's useful.
All right, on to Batmann. This is the team that you've had 1-for-1s all day.
Yeah, they're just offensively very, very strong. Like, they're just very hard to deal with.
I remember low kicks is Stellar Terra, and I don't even know what that does, so... we gotta figure that out, maybe. But...
Yeah, it's pretty strong offensively.
I wish they had some kind of Slow King to go with Baxcalibur for sure. I think that's a...
Would be nice.
Pretty easy, strong combination. But the Slow Kings went really early. Both Slow Kings were gone. in the first
It would
round.
be another way of getting Ursaluna in as well, which would be nice.
Yeah, he might. I don't know if he's considering doing any changes, but I know someone dropped Slooking Galar. So
Yeah.
I'm sure that would fit pretty good here if you want to.
You could probably
do any
get rid of
changes.
like Monkey Dory if you needed to as well.
Yeah, I think you definitely would. And then you have to move something else, but I'm sure you can make it work.
I'm sure you can make like a couple of changes and make that work pretty well.
If he wants to. I mean, this team speed kind of rough. Cinderace.
Yeah, like Cinderace is only 119 as well, and like that's an awkward speed tier because 120 plus is gonna run through, and Cinderace really needs to wear boots like every matchup on this team.
What's the removal like? Oh, it's him and
mostly. Yeah.
Clockawall does it pretty good. You can do it.
Yeah, he can.
A lot of the times you want other moves, but he's pretty bulky.
I think they're just gonna go very like 1-for-1 trading and just like make it an end game state fairly quickly.
Yeah.
Bax is really scary too.
Bax is always scary for sure.
Yeah. The Skarmory was a weird pick for me because I'm not really sure like what it does to this team's identity.
I mean, I think it's just for, does the rocks, does the spikes.
Yeah, and then it dies.
And he has nothing else that does that at all. Like, Tinkaton is not real.
Tinkatuff's alright.
There is no way Tinkaton is real. I'm gonna look.
It's got usable stats.
I'm gonna look at its stats. We're gonna...
For a 1-pointer.
It starts with a 3. We don't count this Pokemon. It's got 55 attack. It doesn't count. It's not real. It's 55 attack. It's not real. There's a fake Pokemon.
T-Waves.
Yeah, it does the Tinkaton stuff, but it doesn't have any threat at all, and anything can set up on it with sub.
Yeah, Naoclxoxo is really good for it as well. Yeah, so Stellar Terra is just like 2x against any terrestrialized Pokemon, but it has no like defensive properties.
Okay.
Which it like makes sense for like Naoclxoxo because it's really just like trying to first impression things.
It already doesn't care about resist very much. So, you just want to buff its bug? I guess he probably did bug, right?
Yeah.
I would just do bug dark, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I don't think it's bad, but I think most of the time you're just bug first impressioning to secure. I think Naoclxoxo is really annoying here. As much as I hate that Pokemon, I think it is like.
Why do you hate that Pokemon?
I just don't like it.
I think this seems pretty offensive. Skarmory doesn't make a lot of sense, but it can pivot. It can do rocks, which you need.
Yeah. I think if this team had a like slow turner to get Ursaluna in, I would love it.
Ursaluna? What team are we looking at? We're not looking at Ursaluna.
It's got Blood Moon Ursaluna.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah. So like if it had that.
I mean, it has Skarmory. It's pretty slow.
It can't slow turn though.
Wait, Skarmory doesn't have a U-turn anymore?
No.
Skarmory sucks.
Yeah, Corviknight is the better Skarmory because it has U-turn, so. And Defog, which Skarmory doesn't have.
Well, Corviknight doesn't have rocks.
Yeah, good trade. Also, Flying Spam may kind of hurt them a little bit.
They got Skarmory.
Yeah, but all the good flying types can kill Skarmory. Like.
Alright, let me think about Tornadus. Yeah, Tornadus goes crazy here.
Yeah, Tornadus is really strong here.
Tornadus goes crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Tornadus is the best, though, but Star Raptor goes crazy here.
Yeah, just stuff like that. Anything that can kill Skarmory, or if Skarmory is dead and it is doing a lot defensively for them, that is like a concern, I think, for them.
Yeah, they're quite flying weak.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, Bax is so scary. I think Bax is going to win games anyway. There's definitely flaws here, but...
I think it's just having Ursulina and Vax just makes this team very hard to deal with. Like,
Dude, get out of my chat, Brownie. Get away. Alright, we'll look at my team.
okay.
I don't really want to talk about my team that much.
Yeah, I mean, it's an excellent Dragapult team. Like, Dragapult is such a good Pokemon, and I think you've dealt with the things it needs to be dealt with very well. You've got, like, an excellent Fairy Killer in Scizor. Have, like, good Dark switch-ins, and Ghost switch-ins, so deals with it quite well. TU is an incredible breaker, and like will be able to just tear holes through teams as long as it can get in reliably. I think you have enough momentum to get it in.
Dude, look at my momentum. Why do you always act like I have trash momentum?
I said you had enough.
Dude, the last team had less U-turn and flip turn than me, and you're like, this guy has crazy momentum. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, it's fine. It's just a very annoying team to deal with, I think. Could maybe ideally do with more hazard setters, but Tinglu is enough because it's coming every game, and he's, you know, he's gonna shit out at least a spike and a stealth rock before he dies. The spinners are fine, like there's no real issue there. It's pretty good priority. Scizor again, mostly doing the bulk of that, but
yeah, I mean, Dragapult physical set Sucker Punch is like real, but
yeah,
Scizor is one of the best priority users, I think.
Yeah. Like you may find the team getting worn down a bit because it is only Pheasantipede and Torn as the like healers. Yeah. And I think you as well may have some issues with flying spam.
Yeah, for sure.
Obviously you have Torn, so it's not as big of a deal, but yeah, no flying resist. Like real flying resist there is because Colossal is kind of a fake Pokemon.
I don't think he's fake. Especially defensively. I think he's real defensively.
He's fine.
He doesn't do any damage though.
I would have liked him to be able to Terra.
He can Terra.
It's hard.
Oh wait, no he can't.
Is he?
No, he can't.
But,
this is fake. No, he can't.
Now, change the doc to be that. I'll change it. Is it supposed to be Cole and...
Cole Pheasantipede. Blastoise is banned. Not allowed.
Oh, yeah, true. That was it. Okay, yeah, as long as he can Terra, then I think it's fine. But
yeah, he can Terra. I would not want him if he couldn't Terra.
I just think, like, ultimately, like, Chi-Yu just punches a big fat hole into every team, and then Dragapult can come in and clean up, because it, like, no one has the tools to be able to deal with both of those reliably. Torn is good backline. I think Torn and Tinglu work quite well together. Scizor is a good U-turner as well. Pheasantipede can be a good guy on the team, get some Toxics going.
Yeah, especially I needed him as a fairy counter.
Yeah, he's a good fairy. It's just offensively lackluster, but he's very good, especially defensive.
Coobykins is Clefable though, uninvested. We found out. Fully defensive, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, no, I think it's a really good team. It's good options for like hazard clear and stuff.
All right. Yeah, I don't want to talk about it too much. But Blacky, you didn't talk about him. I think he's pretty good for whatever amount of points he was. 3?
Like 3 points, yeah.
Good priority. Whoa, no, he's real. Grassy Glide's not on here, but he has Grassy Glide.
Yeah.
And he does a lot of damage too. With a band.
Yeah, Jarvisarator is just pretty good.
Yeah, so he's real. Also, that's healing. Grassy Terrain. Especially Scizor. No, it's not a joke. That shit is a lot of healing.
Healing Wish as well on the Vulpix, you know. It's
okay, that one's not real. But I think the Grassy Terrain is real. I think the Grassy Terrain is real. Especially, like, you know, Blastoise, Scizor, Tinglu. Like, Tinglu especially is getting a ton of value. I mean, he can't do damage if Grassy Terrain's up, but whatever.
Yeah, I say it's a good team. There's, like, a solid backbone, and you've got a very, very good breaker, probably the best breaker in the game in Chi-Yu, that will tear through teams. And yeah, it's just hard to deal with. It's a very annoying team to deal with, I would say.
All right. You hear that? Or not?
Huh? No.
Okay. It's pretty loud, so I'm surprised. Okay, next, Uncultured.
Uncultured.
This is who I'm battling this week.
So this is the most like pretty good team of all time, I think. Like those first 5 guys are just like all pretty good Pokemon.
Yeah, they are.
I
Great
don't know
Tusk
what else to
is
say.
the GOAT. Great Tusk is the GOAT. We can give respect to Great Tusk.
Yeah,
I like him a lot.
Greninja's pretty good. Heatran's pretty good. Zapdos
No,
pretty good.
Great Tusk is better than pretty good. Greninja's probably better than pretty good. The other ones are pretty good.
Debatable.
Lycanroc Dust for 10? Insane
Lycanroc
value.
Dusk is really good. I don't like it as much on this team in particular.
Well, I like it versus me in particular in the first matchup.
Yeah, it sucks. It's a really good Pokemon. I don't know how well it fits on this team personally, but
who do you play first? By the way, did we go over them
I'm
yet?
versus Howell, which is the next person up.
Okay. I think they have really reliable hazards.
Yep.
They have pretty good removal. I mean, they have the best removal of all time. Much.
They have the best spinner in the game, and they've got really good rocks. Like this team will always have rocks up, and it will always be able to clear rocks.
They also have people who are going to knock off every game, pretty much.
Yep.
So hazards are good.
Really good ways of dealing with setup. So you got Clefable, but you've also got very, very nice priority on this team.
Oh yeah, Celerock, of course.
Celerock is premium, but like Greninja, Water Shuriken is usable. Decidueye can Shadow Sneak. I think Squawkabilly does get Hustle, so I don't know how like real that is, but yeah.
Squawkabilly's not real.
It doesn't need to be, but the rest of them are very good. There is a slight water/ice weakness on this team because Greninja is not the greatest water/ice resist.
For sure.
And it is like the primary water. It may mean Lumineon has to come.
No shot.
Maybe
I have to look at Lumineon stats. There's no.
It is like usable. It's just not great.
It does nothing. It just has some speed. That's its highest stat. It's 91.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It can Storm Drain if it needs to, but yeah, I think that is like it's like an issue that's not to be overlooked when you're looking at this team because there's a lot of ice weaknesses and pretty much every water type is going to have an ice move.
Yeah, for sure. So I mean, water is also. I mean, a lot of them are going to switch into Great Tusk. I mean, they're just like, so much. So.
Yeah. Yeah, Great Tusk is just terrifying.
He did a lot of damage.
It kind of lacks like a very good way of setting up. Like Lycanroc is its best, I think. Great
Tusk is its best. By far.
No, I think Lycanroc's better.
No,
with
bulk up Tusk with booster energy.
Yeah, bulk up, true.
Certainly, way stronger. But it's, I mean, Lycanroc's still good. Don't get me wrong, but Great Tusk's just GOAT.
I don't know about bulk up in draft as much.
Nah,
it gets prepped for a lot, but.
Well, what are you prepping for it? You're getting defense raises, and like, you're faster because you have booster energy. I mean, you can get scarfed, but anything can get scarfed. I don't know. I think bulk up.
My main complaint with this team is that it's just boring, honestly. So.
Dude, it's fine. It's not that boring.
It is good. It's just the most pretty good team of all time.
It has good momentum. Greninja, Decidueye, Zapdos.
Like they drafted Clefairy with Zapdos. Like that is, wow.
I mean,
I don't need to look at the rest of the team. I know it's pretty good.
It's like, bulky. I mean, it's good. It's got Witch on Fable. It's a real Witcher.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. You think it's boring. I think Great Tusk is a cool Pokemon, no matter what.
It is. I would have liked it to be on a cooler team, but he does his job here. You know.
Pretty good team. Pretty good team.
Pretty good team. Yep.
All right, Howell. That big Palafin.
Big Palafin.
Weavile, Iron Moth, definitely offensively very threatening between those three.
Those first three are like very, very strong, but they're also kind of like the majority of this team's damage, because
Donphan does damage. Donphan does damage.
Okay.
Cyclozar
does damage, but it's
has
not
Draco
like
Meteor.
damage.
Doesn't do real damage.
Yeah.
I mean, Draco does a lot of damage to unresisted things, no matter what. But
I just think like outside the first three.
For sure.
I mean, the first three are
it's enough.
Probably
I think.
enough. Yeah, it's probably is enough. It may struggle with like bulky waters because I think they're all kind of like
that is true
walled by bulky waters, but it covers a very nice resist profile against 3 stabs. So
bulky waters definitely.
Yeah.
But you can pivot Slowking into like every bulky water. Do you?
Kilowatt is like not to be ignored, but it's not like one of the best electric types in the game.
No, yeah, its damage output is lower than a lot of them.
Yeah. It's got like really good high-end speed tier, and it's got like potentially like 3 or 4 Scarfers as well, which is nice. It's like low-end speed is kind of ass, because there's like that big gap between 94 and 65.
Yeah, and I mean, Earthworm's never running speed ever, pretty much.
Yeah, Vulpix.
Vulpix is not a real Pokemon.
Yeah.
So like Donphan can run speed, but you're probably not going Jolly, so like 199. It's like the cap to Tinkaton.
Yeah, it's quite a big like drop off there, and there's a lot of like fairly strong like breakers in that tier. Yeah, it is a good team though. Like Palafin, Weavile, Iron Moth is hard to deal with.
For sure.
If you can deal with them, I think you'll be.
Are you able to deal with them?
Good.
That's the question.
I don't know. We'll find out on Thursday at whatever time we said.
That's hype. Hazard game, very good, I think. Pretty reliable. Tinkaton, Earthworm, Donphan gets rocks.
Decent spinners, decent rockers.
Very good spinners. Don't underestimate these spinners.
They're decent.
These guys are both able to spin on anything, pretty much.
Yeah, decent. Slowking is really good on this team as well, because it gets in the fast threats. Like, it slow turns into them. I think that's
I think Slowking
gonna be the biggest thing on this team.
Perfect Mon here, because I mean, it checks the waters, most importantly, and then you can pivot back in whatever.
Yeah. Very good Gloomon here, so.
The waters are definitely annoying. Does Palafin get knock or anything? No. What does it hit waters with? Does it just not?
I think it does, but it has like close combat, so it's usually enough to punch.
It has Grass Knot. It has 106 special attack. I mean, you get some waters with that.
Yeah.
Depends on the water, but that's the best thing it's got.
Yeah. It's a very, very strong Pokemon to deal with.
Yeah, Shudtail's banned, obviously, so that's not really
yeah,
with
which
them.
is funny because he does have the 2.
Yeah, he's got both Shudtails.
Yeah, but yeah, obviously banned.
Chili, yeah, Slowking's definitely the best pivoter. I mean, Cyclozar, the U-turns, but I mean,
Cyclozar can U-turn, yeah. Kilowatt can pivot too,
but they're both so fast, and they don't threaten that much out, so it's not.
It's mostly just Slowking, just chilly receptioning, which is like good, especially with like an ice type and Weavile. It can tank a little bit better physically.
That's true, a little bit. Still getting destroyed by a lot of things, but
it's not Bex tier, but you know, it's still like better.
For sure.
You might be able to get like an SD off with that, so.
Priority, I mean, they have maybe the best priority user in the game in Palafin.
Palafin, you got Weavile as well.
Weavile, Shard, yeah.
Yeah. It's a good team.
Good team, very big, very top heavy on the top 3 for
very
offense.
Top heavy, yeah.
But Donphan does do damage. Donphan does a lot of damage.
Donphan, Tinkaton, Cyclozar, role players. They do their role well.
Alright,
like,
now we go you.
No issues with them.
Okay. So are you going to talk about your own team or not?
I can.
Okay. Well, I'll talk about it first.
Like,
Spectre.
Yeah, go for it.
Is obviously You know, it does its one thing. It doesn't do anything else.
Yep.
But it does its one thing, and some teams just get owned by that one thing. That's just how it goes. Nature of the beast, you know? Some teams got the good darks, some teams don't. Some teams got the good normal, some teams don't. Sneasler kills darks. Doesn't switch in on darks, unfortunately. But it doesn't have to, maybe. We'll see as we go. Ogerpon. There's some matchups where this guy just wins by itself, pretty much. Waterpon. Lacking switch-in still, though, to be fair. Ogerpon has some defensive utility. These two really don't.
Yeah.
But this guy's, like, he's pretty good. Terapagos, very reliable spinner. Pretty good offenses. No recovery, though, which is its weakness. Really good ability. Can't be O-code.
Yeah.
I don't know how this works, though. I guess you run boots on it most of the time, if you're putting in a spinner.
Pretty much, yeah. If it's gonna be a spinner, yeah.
Yeah. I guess you have Serena, too, for spinning. Ease pressure. But Incineroar, pretty good guy.
Able to pivot into the big guys pretty reliably.
Yeah, I think has pretty good synergy with Spectre.
Yeah.
And yeah, parting shot into stuff. Florges, stole my fairy, allowed you to have it. It's fine. Pretty good guy though, very specially bulky. Gives some big wishes.
Helps a lot, yep.
Especially Incineroar. Helps Incineroar out. Tanks the fightings. And wish him up. Duraludon, I'm not really sure about this guy. I don't really know what he does. Can he run Eviolite now?
Yeah, he's got Eviolite, so he's just inherently
like
fairly bulky, still especially like
physically
not
crazy bulky.
Yeah, it's pretty good. He just doesn't have an ability is his issue.
What's his ability? Oh, they're all metal.
Light metal. Yeah.
Does it have
light metal
slam?
is the only usable one.
Doesn't have heavy slam.
I don't think so.
Oh, it does. It does.
It does? Okay. Well, maybe that's usable some matchups, but most people just run light metal to avoid getting low kicked or whatever.
Yeah, the special attack is like way higher. So
yeah.
Heavy slam, whatever.
It's an option, but yeah.
Oh yeah, rocks? Is this your only rocker? That's all see in a second.
Terapagos.
Oh yeah, you can rock too. Okay. Articuno Galar, I think is really good here.
Yeah,
as another like fighting answer.
To get.
Like, I don't know. Psychic Flying. Alright, Electric, I would have thought, is useless. But this guy's got way too many stats for being 1 point. He should not be 1 point. He's got knock. He's got momentum.
Slow turn.
Not reasonable for 1 point compared to other 1-pointers. But
pretty
whatever.
Good 1-pointer.
Whatever. Alright, we'll look here now.
I love Electric.
Spikes on Ogerpon, pretty good. Forgot about that.
Yeah, it's not like the greatest hazard game, but they're pretty reliable setters outside Toxic Spikes.
Yes. I mean,
and like 2 pretty good spinners.
These guys are always getting whatever they want up. If they want. Yeah. And then yeah, very solid spinners, Terapagos. Easy to underrate. But he kind of does the same thing as Great Tusk, in my opinion. But especially, and a little bit weaker because he's not Great Tusk. But, I mean, he's a normal type, which has the advantage of tanking Spectre, but you have Spectre. And what else? I don't know. Dragapult. Chandelier. Yeah. I mean, it's a normal. Normal. It sucks, kind of, but it's like good and some other things.
It's like a fairly good normal. It's like a premium normal, I think.
Oh yeah, for sure. But normals are normals at the end of the day. Yep. Lots of knocks. Lots of very usable knocks. Like Incineroar's running knock every game. Ogerpon's probably running knock pretty often. Serena's probably running knock pretty often. I like knock.
Yeah.
Pretty shit priority.
Yeah, priority could be better.
It's actually terrible, I think. It might be the worst. None of this is usable.
Two fake outers.
None of this is usable. You're never running fake out. Never. Never.
Okay, man.
Alright. You might run fake out on Incineroar 1 time. None of the rest is getting run. Maybe you'll run upper hand because you think it's cute.
Almost definitely. Yeah, it's fine. I like the pivot options on this team. It's
Yeah, there's a lot of Incineroar. I like Incineroar, especially Serena.
Yeah.
You don't need
and
glaring
Florges getting
weaknesses.
baton pass is nice.
Type weaknesses. Birds.
Ice isn't like a super bad weakness here, but it is like be aware of, I think.
Tornadus might cook your ass.
Yeah, the flying is probably the biggest one. Just because Ogerpon and Sneasler are both being weak to it. Duraludon can do a bit, but yeah, special flying is gonna hurt. Probably there's no fairy resist, no fairy weak, and there's no real good fairies picked. I think I deal with them offensively enough, but
yeah, Sneasler.
It was always gonna be like a weird type chart because of like the first like 4 picks basically. They're all like not really too weak to anything, but also not really resistant to anything.
Yeah.
So
you have no
yeah,
like real water type. Like this isn't a real like defensive water type. Which could be annoying.
Yeah.
Like fires.
Yeah, grass water is like always
fires, like... as I said before to you.
Yeah, Incineroar helps, but
it does, but I think that's a lot of work for him if you're versus like a good fire type.
Yeah, I think this team's mostly just trying to get the 3 big offensive guys in
for sure
and punching things. So I think it does that well enough.
I agree. I think it's definitely good, I think. I just worry about the flying thing.
Yeah. That's fair.
So I don't know. Well, who are even the other flying types? Like I have one. Who else has one? Moltres can Hurricane.
Yeah, Moltres can.
Yeah. But yeah, I think team's good. Team's good. Team's good.
I think it's fine.
Alright. I'm gonna try to think about who's good. It's so hard to rank teams, you know?
Yeah.
Do you have a ranking?
Outside of rank 1.
You think Nolan's
I have
clear
a rank 1 pick.
You like Nolan?
No, Nolan's clearly this has got to be the best team in the draft, I think.
I don't think so.
Really?
I mean, I don't know. I haven't thought about it enough yet. I don't know. It's got the hazard control is kind of annoying. Blitzcore does a lot.
If you go to the teams tab, it gives you like an overview of like all.
And Blitzcore is doing a ton for that team. Also, we got our Batmann, the team that I said needed Soul King, responded in Adamant chat that he's trying to get him, maybe. So that's interesting.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Alright, so you're picking Nolan. Alright, let's start at the bottom. We're gonna start at the bottom.
Okay.
I think... Alright, just to preface this, I don't know what I'm talking about. I could definitely be completely wrong. I don't have that much experience in drafts to begin with. And I'm bad, so like whatever. I'm picking Ashe as my bottom 12.
Okay. I get it.
It's definitely threatening. I think the Thunderous has so much.
It's just like for me, it's just such like it's just not a team I would ever use because it's so like frail, and I like having some backbone. It's just a bunch of fast shit slapped together, and I think that can run through teams, but I think it's like so like do or die that it's risky. Probably my least favorite for teams like my ranking will probably basically just be teams that I would use, so it's like obviously more weighted to that. Don't know. It's hard.
Dude, you gotta figure it out.
I don't no. I might say Salt Exo, Naocl.
Okay.
It's just not a team that I like. It's so slow for me that
It is really slow. That's why I'm putting
Yeah.
11, by the way. That's my 11. To me,
Okay.
those are 12 and 11.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just put mine as like the second down or something. It's fine.
Okay. So you're doing... So I'm doing 11.
Yeah. And it's just not a bad team. It's just not something I would ever use. And I think that's like my main thing. I think I would probably put Ashe's like 11.
Okay.
Again, just it's so like fast, but no backbone. Hurts
Yeah.
it a lot.
Kind of like opposites between those two.
Yeah. Yeah.
That seems like pure backbone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's like hard to pick in the next like tier for me, like what I would think next. I'm gonna say Leonstrall's team as number 10, purely because I think it just relies on webs a lot. And I like this team. I just think it may suffer in practice.
Yeah, I can see that. I really, wish they had more Nox.
They're very close. Yeah, I think like with more Nox, and I think maybe some wish for Arcaladon might bump that up to like third.
Big
But
jump.
like they're genuinely like so like close at this like around here, I think.
Yeah. I think I'm going with CJEatsWater as my 10.
Okay.
I'm not ranking my own team. So I need to change
That's
mine
fair.
too. Are you not? You're not ranking yours either, or are you?
No, it's fine. I think we just I'd put mine like third or fourth probably. So.
All right, you're not ranking your own. Okay, what's your next one?
We're 8th.
Yep.
I think Batman's.
Batman. What if Batman got Glowbro?
Yeah, that bumps the team up a lot for sure. Again, like bump it up to like third, fourth kind of range. But at the moment, like with how it is, because that's kind of how we gotta rank it. I would say Batman's. And again, it's a good team. It's got threats. I just don't like the Skarmory. I don't think it's doing.
I agree. I think I would put this one 8.
Okay.
Okay, I'll go this one. I think now I'll do Leon at this point. I think between Landorus, Keldeo, I don't think these people, they need Scarf. Chandelure definitely appreciates, Web. Chandelure definitely appreciates Web. I mean, they all appreciate it. But I mean, you can Scarf your Lando and it'll do plenty of damage, and you don't need a Web or anything.
Yeah. Definitely got options.
Like Primarina definitely appreciates some Webs. Like, they definitely work really well with Webs.
Yeah.
But I don't think they have to have Webs. I think it's okay without it. Alright, you're up. I think it's probably where the biggest one we're gonna differ on, but I think JT's for 7th. JT is for 7th.
Yeah.
Disagree, personally.
Yeah. I think it's probably the biggest one we're gonna disagree on, but yeah, I think that's about where I like fit it in my rankings.
That's fair.
Again, it's a good team. I'm just like worried about the like threat compared to a lot of other ones, but
I mean, it's fair. I think it's definitely much more balanced than any other team, pretty much.
Yeah, really balanced.
Which, I mean, might be harder to make work. Like, it's not as simple as go to Chin Pao and hit Knock or Crunch or whatever he is. Or go to Iron Valiant and whatever. I mean, Iron Valiant's not that easy to use, but... For 6... I'm gonna do... the Uncultured, I think.
Okay.
Which I play them, so it's kind of awkward if I lose or something. But I mean, this is still like top half at this point. Like these are good teams.
Yeah,
I think
this is,
every
like,
team, pretty much. I mean, by nature of points draft is how it works pretty much. They're all like good.
Gonna be
They're not bad.
I would agree with this. This would be my 6th. Like again, it's a really good team. Like it's a pretty good team, but I don't. It's just boring to me. But
I don't think it's that boring.
They're not
either.
bad Pokemon.
I mean, it's boring because they're like normal Pokemon you see, but they're. I like using Greninja. I like using Great Tusk. I like using Heatran.
I'm sure they'll have a lot of success with it, but that's my target there.
Okay, you go first this time.
I think I'd probably go Howell for I think 5th run and 5.
Wow, you still haven't done CJ. We have a big gap on that one.
Yeah, a big gap on that one. But yeah, I think 5 for Howell.
Okay, 5 for Howell. Dude, Valiant is so scary. I think Slowking is doing a lot for this Howell team. Could get...
That's kind of where I stood with it. Is like I think it relies so much on the Slowking bringing in these guys.
Halifin can also bring in them, and he's like bulky. Like, I mean, they're both water types.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I'll play Howell 5. I agree with Howell for 5.
Yeah. My 4 would be Jarvis.
Jarvis for 4.
Really carried by Iron Valiant. It's a good team. I worry about the speed.
Yeah, the top end.
They do have Scarfers to like offset it, but yeah, I think it's so hard to rank an Iron Valiant team because that Pokemon can just do anything.
Yeah, I think if you play really well on Iron Valiants.
Yeah.
Or if you like build really well, especially. Yeah,
it can cover up like any weakness, but just purely based on the strength of the draft, I put it about 4.
Okay. I think... What do we got? You left. JT, Jarvis, Nolan. Oh, I put Jarvis in the wrong spot. Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you on 4 there, and I'm putting JT 3.
Okay.
Okay, we might actually agree on number 1. Alright, what's your 3?
I think 3 for CJ. But I'm gonna caveat this is my like biggest like dark horse of this. I think this draft is
weird.
Very possibly really good. I think it can be worked very, very well. I just don't know enough about Pekkarunt to...
I also don't know much about Pekkarunt, to be fair.
Yeah.
I think Talonflame does too much for this team, though. And I mean, he's not that good that you want to bring him every week. Alright, what you go to? That's me, I guess, and then Nolan.
Yeah. I think your like threats are just very large. It's got a good defensive backbone. Nolan, it's purely on just the strength of that like first 4. They can come to any game. They cover each other's weaknesses. They have got like setup options on basically all of them. Like, I don't know. I just look at that and I'm like, I can't pick apart that team very well.
Yeah, I think we're gonna agree on number one. Though I do think it has weaknesses. I don't think it's perfect or anything.
Yeah, no team's gonna be like perfect, but that is.
I think its hazard removal is pretty rough. But
it's got so many hazards and it can keep them up very well.
It has very reliable setters and they have Goldingo. So
yeah. You kind of auto win the hazard game with Goldingo, Glamora, so.
Yeah, and they're not like extra weak to hazards or anything. I mean, they're one for me too, and you're two.
Okay.
And then where would you put yourself? I guess I don't really want to put myself. I'll think though. I would put me two too. I think.
Yeah, I'd probably put me third if I was ranking myself. I'm happy.
I will say I picked Torn. I think my team would have been so much better if I didn't pick Torn, but whatever. I think it fits pretty good. Like, it's not bad.
I think it does quite a lot to, like, a lot of these drafts we're looking at, they like, seem to be edging on the, like, flying side of weaknesses. It's a hard type to resist effectively, and, like, Torn's just such a good Pokemon at dealing with it, and TU deals with the steals that resist it as well, and just kind of abuses them.
Yeah.
I don't know, it works, I think it works very well together.
I agree. I mean, it fits. I would have picked it if it was, like, completely unhinged. But
yeah.
I like Torn, that's why I picked it mostly.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Cool.
We did it.
Good job, team.
We did it. You should write something. You want to write something? I'll do it if you don't want to do it.
Oh, I've written up something that I'll post, like, this afternoon, but yeah.
Okay. Is it gonna have my rankings? I want my rankings on there too.
I'll put your rankings on there, but I just have like my thoughts.
Okay. I just want my rankings on there.
Sure.
And then we can look at it weekly and see how it goes.
I'm good.
Alright, great. Thanks for watching, anyone who's watching still. Goodbye.